today's recipe for this, we're doing a delicious marinade. It's actually green garlic and lemon. Does anyone know what I mean by when I say green garlic? Does anyone know green garlic? Or young garlic, spring garlic,
baby garlic,
little
garlic. No,
these
are not actual terms.
No,
what I'm saying.
it is the young garlic. It's the first growth of the garlic that comes out. So it's actually just a single ball, but it almost looks like a green onion. It has an amazing fresh garlic flavor, but it hasn't developed that kind of strong, intense heat yet. So it is kind of like a mix between a mild garlic and, like, let's say, a green onion. These are fantastic, really fresh. You can find them. I found them in regular conventional grocery store, farmers markets. I'll have them now. So I'm just roughly chopping this up. Again, if you do have a food processor, you can do the food processor, but there's like 2 ingredients. So I don't want to wash the food processor for 2 ingredients. Roughly chop it up, and it doesn't have to be super fine. Get it into a bowl. Parsley, I love parsley with lamb. You can do mint, fresh mint would be fantastic. If you're a cilantro lover, go for the cilantro.
Check with your friends or family
Yes.
who are going to be indulging. I see some people shaking their heads. No cilantro.
So I'm, again, roughly chopping it up. It's not super perfect. That's gonna go in.
So I mentioned the fruit juices. With all these greens in here too, think of the antioxidant content that we're packing into this marinade.
Cumin. Love cumin. Cumin and lamb. Delicious, fantastic. If you can freshly grind, no, you don't like the cumin. Don't use cumin. If you don't like cumin,
Change it up.
dried oregano would be fantastic in this. Just simple, black pepper. But I love cumin, and you don't have a choice today, so cumin's going in.
It's Jeremy's kitchen. No.
So cumin in there, and then, like Christy said, our citrus. So lemons, zester. Probably need another one, but that's all I have. It ran out. So that's going in. And a little bit of olive oil, just to finish it off. It looks like it's more than it is. It's not that much. So that's gonna go in. We're gonna season it with just a little bit of salt. And that's it. Really, really nice, refreshing marinade. And this is good for anything. You can do this on grilled zucchini, grilled eggplant, chicken.
We're gonna do a vegetarian version of this recipe. So we have some firm tofu or extra firm tofu that we're gonna marinate in the same flavor. And that's a really great way to make kebabs for vegetarians as well. Don't go for the softer silken tofu because it's just gonna fall apart on you. You want the really firm texture.
So you wanna marinate at least an hour, I would say. If you can do it overnight, do it the night before, leave it in the fridge, even better. But to really get that flavor in, to even get some of that protective property of the marinade, at least an hour would be beneficial. And we're gonna use wooden skewers. If you're doing it over barbecue, flame, soak them in water first. They'll last a little longer before burning on you. Metal skewers are good as well. I have a indoor, they wouldn't let me bring my barbecue down. So indoor cast iron grill on here. And we want to heat it up to about medium. The cast iron gets pretty hot. You can kind of feel it with your hands. So if you hear a sizzle, you can lower it down, take it off the heat if it's too intense, and then just make sure the heat calms down a bit. So we're gonna put some zucchini and onion on here as well.
Bell peppers work really well, like we showed with the eggplant. If you want to chop some of those up, this is a great way to get your veggies in. And use less meat overall,
yes,
so that you're having a smaller portion size. You know, we only need about a palm-sized serving for most of us to get the amount of protein that we need. So throwing on a big steak on the barbecue is more of a once-in-a-while thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like you're having a lot more. Like if you put 2 of these shish kebabs on your plate, looks like a good-sized portion. But the meat is probably tops 3 ounces. It's a very, very much more reasonable portion than, let's say, a big New York steak.
Absolutely. I like to do cherry tomatoes on this as well, or there's a recipe that I made recently where it was tofu and then melon balls as well. So you get that really sweet flavor in combination. And when you grill fruit over the barbecue, it brings out some of these amazing flavors. It really caramelizes.
Just one thing to note, there's few fruit that you want to avoid marinating with your meat. They're tenderizers. They have a compound in them that breaks down the protein in meat. And if you have it for any longer than like 15 minutes, it starts to get pretty mushy on the outside. So 3 things that I tend to avoid is pineapple. You can always skewer it on after like this, perfect, but never in the marinade. So pineapple, papaya, and figs. Those will kind of that'll really break down the protein on there. So if you're looking for a very quick tenderizer, I'm horrible at multitasking, by the way. If you're looking for a quick tenderizer, then you can add them and they'll break down the protein. But for anything longer than 20 minutes, I would avoid those specific fruit.
And it's really interesting, those fruits are known to help with digestion as well for the same reason. So they basically help your body to break down proteins and convert them into energy. So at the health food store, you might find, some extracts of pineapple or papaya that are sold as digestive enzymes. So you can always just go ahead and eat the fruit, skewer it on in this recipe.
After, yeah, that would be
Or have
good.
it as a nice dessert just to help settle your stomach and help with digestion.
So these are small cubes. We used leg of lamb. You can get your butcher to trim it up for you. It does have quite a bit of fat on it if you buy it whole. So just get the butcher to trim it down, get all that fat off, and then just cube it into small cubes. But like I said, pork tenderloin, chicken, or just keep it all vegetarian would be really, really nice as well. So a few minutes per side. If you want it cooked all the way through, you want an internal temperature of about 165 degrees Fahrenheit. With the shish kebabs, you can even take one off, cut it in half, you get that first bite, look inside. If it's done to your likeness, then it's good to go. As a side, we have some plain yogurt here. Reserve some of the marinade, not the marinade you put on the meat, obviously, just some of the fresh one on the side. And this is delicious with that yogurt. It has that cumin, that lemon juice, the green garlic, and then just kind of stir it in there. And that's a really nice kind of dipping sauce on the side.
And Jeremy makes a great point. If you want to have some extra marinade for later on to kind of drizzle on top or serve on the side, you may be tempted to put everything, in one container, throw it in the fridge. But think about it. If you've had raw chicken, raw meat, sitting in that marinade and you're going to serve it on top later without cooking it, that's going to be a food safety issue. There's, definitely a risk of salmonella and other types of food poisoning.
And as another side, asparagus, fantastic. We grilled up some ahead of time. And so what we do with our asparagus, really, really simple. Trim the bottom off. Like I talked about.
I love doing the satisfying snap.
The snap, we talked about
But
it last
apparently
week.
it's wasteful.
You can waste quite a bit. Like I'm gonna snap it here. That's what I'm left with. That's a lot of waste. All you really need is like the bottom 2 inches. Chop that off. It's just a little too woody, too fibrous. And then we throw it on the grill dry. So asparagus, even a lot of other vegetables, dry, no marinade, no seasoning, and then I add it after. So we grilled some ahead of time. Then right at the end is when I would squeeze a little bit of lemon juice. We have some feta cheese, which is a nice little treat on top of the asparagus afterwards. One of my favorite ingredients is harissa paste. Has anyone heard of harissa paste? It's like a chili paste, and they add cumin and coriander and some incredible North African spices. It's a nice
What could
ingredient.
you do if you can't find that?
This is delicious as is. Lemon juice, olive oil. That's usually my favorite. Just salt and pepper. If you want it, if you want like a little bit of that kick, even just some fresh chili on top of that would be fantastic. This I just mixed with some lemon juice and olive oil. And that's going to go on top, and it's a little different than your regular asparagus. But asparagus in season, local asparagus, you can't go wrong. And that's it.
Beauty.
Nice little way to marinate something like lamb or any protein. And then a quick side,